lot of challenge, and you know, and being in coming back with my injury, my knee surgery, and also fighting the champion.
George, does being out for this extended period of time, does it make you want to be a little more active when you return to action?
Yeah, a little bit maybe. Give me more motivation, and I'm very excited. One thing that I've learned before I used to do too much training, I used to be burned out a little bit over the same routine all the time. And now that I took some time off, my knee, it teach me that like overtrain, it's not only physical, it's also mental, and I will never do the same mistake again. I will, make sure I will not let my personal life interfere with my training and stay sharp all the time.
And can you talk about some of the, you mentioned before, some of the new things that you wanted to try when you get back. Can you talk about some of the new techniques and some of the new exercises?
I will make my training schedule more efficient. Sometimes I train to a place, I have to drive to another place, the traffic and everything. So I will make everything not under the same roof, but I will make everything set up in a way that I'm not gonna waste as much time as I did before in traffic and stuff like that. And I will have more freedom and more break. So basically, I will come back by training a little bit less than I did before, but more efficiently.
George, can you talk about, you mentioned being more motivated than you've ever been for a fight, since possibly 9 years. How important is that at this stage of your career, considering that, you've been a champion for a long time, and was there ever a time where you were kind of getting a little bored with the sport?
Not bored, but the routine got there, and when the routine got there, you fight a guy that everybody says, oh my God, you're gonna win, and the criticism are there. It's very, very, very rough on me. Oh, he doesn't finish fights and stuff. It get sometimes discouraging. I'm mad at myself because I didn't do the job well. People criticize me, so I get very frustrating about myself, because the critic, I listen to the critic a lot. Even though you don't want to listen to it, I'm a proud person. My pride, that's maybe my biggest issue and my greatest thing. And I want to do it. I want to finish fights, and and I try to figure out how I could be better. And I know I think I got the good solution for my next fight.
So is this kind of like a blessing in disguise in a sense?
Could be a good thing, because the way my career was going, I was going to get mentally burned out. Now what happened, I'm gonna change a lot of things in my training, and I will be reborn in a way. So it will be good.
Now, you've spoken in the past about how your karate is a big portion and a big factor of why you became a champion. Why do you believe that it helped you, and a lot of other fighters haven't really adopted
the
karate
way I fight
training?
is karate, 100%. People doesn't believe that. They think about wrestling. It has nothing to do with the wrestling. Wrestling helped me with leg finishes and stuff like that. Wrestling helped me. Everything helped me with jiu-jitsu. But the karate, the timing that I have when I get in on someone, that I cut the distance on someone, it's all about karate.
Okay.
It's all the karate that made me. That was my biggest strength. See an opening and getting in on someone. Karate, it's a very quick sport. Your timing has to be very sharp, and everything I do, it's about timing, and that's come from the karate.
Are you afraid of having to change your style of fighting after this injury?
I'm not gonna have to change my style. I will be better and stronger even than I was before. And sometimes people, they say, oh, he's a wrestler or in jiu-jitsu. It's true, I do jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but my main sport is full contact karate. That's where I come from.
George, I think you kind of surprised some people this week talking about like your darkness and this dark place that you have. I guess we've never really seen that in you.
Everyone has dark side. They just doesn't show it. And I'm a human being. Sometimes I'm mad, but I don't show it. I try to force myself to stay good. But it's normal. Everybody has it.
Is that a character trait that you've always had, or is that something? Was there a time you couldn't repress that, and maybe you were a little angry, or have you had to learn that?
I always had it, especially when I was young. The way I grew up, it was very hard, and I always has it. I just learned how to canalize. I let it come out on the right time.
Is that when the cage door closes, I guess?
Cage door, training. Actually, doing sport make me a better human being. If I haven't done martial art, who knows what would happen. That saved my life. Martial arts saved my life. I could have ended up being a bad person, and do bad things. But martial art, when I grew up, that's what teach me the discipline and keep me in the right lane.
Were you starting down that path at all when you were a kid? I mean, were you starting to
I started when I was 7 years old. My dad teach me karate in the beginning.
Do you identify with Nick Diaz in that way because he chose martial arts instead of making a bad life for himself as well?
Maybe, and a little bit. The only reason is I let my demon inside of myself. I don't let it come out. I want to be. I want to be a good role model. I don't let the anger take over me, and it's a very hard thing to do. This is a much harder thing to do than just let it out and act like and disrespect people. This is very hard what I do. People has no. They don't realize it's very hard. So it's the fire is inside and I'm boiling inside, But I keep it in there and let it come out at the right time.
Would you say that's part of being a martial artist that you have that Nick Diaz doesn't?
It's part of being a martial artist, but it's very hard. It's not everyone that can do that. You need to work on that. You have to. It takes time. You need to work. You need to know yourself, to control yourself. It's a very hard thing to do.
George, can you tell us what happened after 137? Dana came to the press conference saying, "I've never seen George so mad. He wants to beat Nick Diaz." What is your account of what happened after 137?
Well, I text Dana and Lorenzo. I kept texting them all night. I said, "Listen, give me that fight. It's the fight that everybody wants to see. It would be crazy to not make that fight. That's what everyone wants to see. It's like I remember back in the day when Chuck Liddell was supposed to fight Vander Silva and they didn't do it, and they did it, but too late. You know what I mean? They could have done that fight in the proper time. It would have been the biggest fight ever. Like as a fan, I wanted to see that fight, but not too late. Like right at the perfect timing. And right now, that's where we are with Nick Diaz and I were at the perfect fight timing to fight each other. We're both in our prime. When I'll be back, I'll be stronger than ever. And that's a perfect timing to make that fight. That's why I hope that Nick Diaz win the fight. And as a fan of martial art, for the fans and for everyone, I think that's the fight. It will be the biggest fight that UFC ever had. I guarantee you that. That's a fight that everybody wants to see. It will be the format will be great, the promotion, everything, and I want that fight very bad.
So it was more from a professional standpoint. It wasn't
professional
like
and personal as well. As a champion, I want to challenge myself. I want to fight the best guy, and I believe that Nick Diaz is the best guy right now, and that's the man that I wanted to fight.
Would there be disappointment if you had to face Carlos Condit?
It will be a little bit disappointment, but in a way, if Carlos Condit win, that means he will prove everybody wrong, and that means he will be the best man. So it won't be Nick Diaz. So I think it will be just as good.
George, you've already talked about this, but you've had a good relationship with Carlos. Have you talked to him about all the stuff you've been saying about wanting to fight Diaz and how it's not personal?
He knows. He heard about it in the media. We had an interview, but he knows. But it's nothing personal. I like Carlos, and tell you the truth, I just hope there is no fluke on Saturday night and the best man win.
George, you said that you think Nick is a smart guy. He's not crazy. But going back to him not showing up and not being in the fight, have you figured all that out? Do you think this was some big calculated move by him to?
I don't believe it. I believe he's a very smart guy. I believe he might have some social skill issues. That's what I believe. Doesn't mean you're not smart if you can have issues. I got issues as well. People doesn't know, and I can tell you, my manager might jump up right now if I talk to you about it. But I'm a little bit OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder. I like sometimes things being all in straight line. If I see something an angle, I'm gonna put it like I'm crazy in a little bit. People that know me will tell you that I'm pretty silly sometimes, But Diaz has problem in the social skill department. He doesn't manage well the pressure of an interview. He cannot be sitting down in the same room as his opponent, and he just can't deal with it. Me, I hate it as well, but I can't deal with it. I find a way inside to keep that inside and do it, even though I despise it. But Nick's social skill, he's not good with that.